really wanted to thank this organization, the Shawnee Sports Council, for nominating me into the Hall of Fame. This is a tremendous honor, and I've received a few honors in my life, but this one is special. I'll tell you why. This is my hometown. I grew up here, I played sports here, coached at Omega, coached at Shawnee Heights, coached at Hayden. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of people here tonight that I think they're here for one reason, that is to shut me up. Anytime you give a microphone to a coach, CJ will attest to this, it's very, very hard to get it away from them because they like to talk. I'd like to introduce to you, because I got a special thanks, and Dean mentioned my wife for 59 years, and she's been with me through the Scotty's years. She was a Highland Park graduate. She was a cheerleader for 4 years, and I thought she was going to the games for me, but she wasn't. She had to go to them. And after that, we got married, and she saw every game that I ever played in college, in town team ball, you name it, she was there. I also want to introduce you my daughter, and it's Debbie, and her husband Mike Geist, and I want to also introduce my son, Kevin Delk. They're both all up sitting at this table here. And I have two granddaughters and a grandson. Amy, which is in Oklahoma City, could not make it tonight. Amanda and her friend Kyle. And also that we have Ryan. And I have one great grandson in Oklahoma City, which we're very proud of. Start off with my mother, which was a tremendous individual. She was a Trojan, Topeka High Trojan. My dad was a Scotty, a Highland Park Scotty. They got together and lived in Highland Park, and I came along. Well, my dad didn't last very long. He died in 1942 and put a pretty good burden on my mother, which my mother wanted me to be associated in athletics. And so consequently, she tried to get me to all the games that Highland Park played. Started at a very, very young age. We only lived 6 blocks. We could walk over to the school, watch the ball game, and go home. As a treat. Mother would take me to a Washington University basketball game. But back in those days, mother didn't drive. Of course, I was too young to drive. We were kind of in the hospital thing, the bus situation. The buses ran regularly, and at Washington University, if we were to stay halftime, we could catch the bus home, be home, by 10 o'clock. Well, the game's not over. We always loved one of the coaches at Highland Park, named Coach Reynolds. He loved to watch football and basketball also, and he went to most of the games. We always looked for him because if we ever saw him, we knew that he would ask us, "Can I give you a ride home?" We could see the whole ball game. Start off, the first coach I ever had was a gentleman by the name of Coach Stone. And if some of you can relate to this, some of you cannot, but we didn't have any organized sports until the 7th grade. Then all we had was basketball. So we went out to the game, and my mother got her ready, and she went to stands, and I went on the floor, did our practice shots, and I go, boy. And game started. Well, I'm on the bench. First quarter ends, I'm still on the bench. Halftime, I'm on the bench. And I thought, because we had about 35 kids out in football, about basketball. So I thought, gee, I'm bound to get in the second half sometime. Well, third quarter ended. Oh boy, I'm in trouble. Anyhow, 2 minutes of the game, and Delk. I jump up there and I went to the game, and there was a gentleman by the name of Shorty Morris. He graduated from Highland Park. He was fishing, and he used to walk me to school every day when I was a younger day. And he says, Ed, he says, you have anything to tell me? I looked at him. I said, no. You sure? I said, hi, Shorty. He says, wrong. He goes, T. I thought, well, back in those days, you would number 55 went in for 50. You said 55. I told the official 55 is in for 50. I was so excited to get the ball game after all about. Then I looked over my mother and she looked. He did it again. I had some great coaches, and I want to mention them. Our head football coach was Barney Hayes, and he was just a fine gentleman. He left Shawnee Heights, or Highland Park, went to Shawnee Heights as the principal, and it was great times there. I actually had to work with him, and we had some great times there. He loved golf, and he gave me a few lessons on financial situations. Coach Todd Reynolds, I have a deep thought about him. Coach was also the assistant football head track coach, and that's unbelievable that he watched us one time as a sophomore year, and because I was a little tight, as I mentioned, went away for my freshman year, came back. I'm 6'2", and when our coaches all stood up and said, "Oh, what's your name?" I said, "Oh, you transferred in." "No, I've been here all my life. You just didn't notice me." So anyhow, we got to play. One thing I want to mention to it is that Todd says, "You know, we got to change this guy's position." And Barney said, "Why?" Well, we were watching out there, and these kids, the halfbacks and ends, they were trying to make some fancy catches. They were trying to catch behind their back, one handed over their head, whatever. And he said, the one thing that kid can do, he can catch the ball. Now, I was 155 pounds, 6'2". So they switched me in. That's where I made All-American in that position, and it was a great move on my part. The last thing I want to say is that we came up into Highland Park. We were a school. We were small. We had about a little over 400 kids in school. And by junior year, we played teams we should play. And we were undefeated in football. Barney does, like I said, Barney has some great staff members. We did a fine job. And in basketball, we got beat in the playoffs. For the, I think, first place or second, I can't remember. But anyhow, we didn't have much size. We had little kids. I was the only one that's 6'2". And here we come. Senior year, we're playing A ball, or double A ball. Well, they, what in the world are we doing here? Anyhow, the thing I'm really particular about, we played Topeka High twice. Once in the Christmas tournament, which is down at TIT, and we beat them. It was great win. We played them 2 times in the regular season, once at home and once with them. They beat us both times. And the next game, we drew them for the regional first game of this tournament. And we ended up beating them there, which meant we beat Topeka High twice, they beat us twice. In football, I'm not going to get into that, but football was a tie game, 6-6. And I always look back at Mother, I said, now, aren't you proud of that? You're at Topeka High, and you won 2.5 games. My dad was Scotty, and he won 2.5 games. And that's the first time I can remember that Topeka High played Big Round. I want to again thank the organization for the honor that you have bestowed on me. I will cherish this to my dying days, and I really want to thank my friends that showed up for this. It's been a great experience, and once again, Thank you.